Welcome to the InnSync Show. This is our first on location, in person. I have the one and only Celeste Berke Knisley here with me at the beautiful Rancho Bernardo Inn, where she just finished up an incredible sales session.
Yeah.
So you would say a little bit about that?
2-day training with the team. I was just blown away by not only the property and how welcoming the team was, but how attentive the team was and excited and engaged to grow. I think this digital space and how not to lose your human online plagues a lot of sellers. So we dove into that and I got some amazing kudos, which is always nice. So it's been nice to be 2 days in San Diego as well.
Hey, by the way, we are sitting here next to each other because of LinkedIn, and she's here training, doing the exact same thing on how we met.
Yeah.
There's so much opportunity to meet just incredible people on LinkedIn. It's unbelievable.
I think 2 years ago.
Yep.
2 years ago, we met on LinkedIn, and now fast forward, I think the fall, it'll be 2 years, and now fast forward, today we're meeting in person for the first time.
That's right.
Even though we've,
boom,
every week, right, we're in each other's DMs, sharing funny tidbits behind the scenes or supporting each other on LinkedIn. So it's been nice to catch up in person.
And what's crazy is that it's almost like we've known each other in person for ages. It's unbelievable. So we're not going to get too crazy on LinkedIn on this show because we're talking about HITEC, and this is the HITEC breakdown. She had the pleasure of going to Charlotte, what, 2 weeks ago already?
2 weeks ago. Time is flying by. HITEC was in Charlotte 2 weeks ago. I flew in, got in at 3:30 a.m. due to delayed flights, and then was at the trade show at 10 a.m. the next morning when it kicked off.
Amazing. We're going to share a few things about that, some highlights, lowlights, and maybe some takeaways. I didn't have the opportunity going this year. Got twins graduating, going to college, so I'll be there next year. So I'm sorry I missed it, but she was there, and she's got some great things that we're going to explore here. So what would be the highlights of HITEC?
So highlights for me for HITEC, being a first-time attendee, was being completely overwhelmed in what went into the booth. I've been to a lot of trade shows. I actually come up through event and meeting management where we did trade shows on a shoestring budget. So, stories
with
for
shoe
another
boxes
time.
too?
Wrapped shoe boxes
nice.
For props. But I was blown away by the investment and what went into some of these grandiose booths. I couldn't believe how much effort went into having a great show from a visualization. I thought that was really a highlight. And just to see the buzz of people connecting in person like we are doing right now, sharing stories, and then seeing all the posts on LinkedIn about the GAIN event at the baseball stadium. And I think there is power in events being back in a post-pandemic, post-COVID, and there is something that just solidifies that in-person connection. So I would say that those would be like the highlights. In addition, one funny highlight was I felt a little bit like an influencer. 2 occasions during the 2 days I was at HITEC, somebody called my name out and said that they recognized me from LinkedIn. So I had this aha moment of, well, someone does see my content as it relates to hospitality. So that was a personal highlight for me.
That's a strong why we do this. Great, that was a fantastic highlight there. What would you say would be maybe some of the not so highlight, the low moments of the show?
If we're talking specifically at the show, I'm a firm believer in when you are at a trade show, you gotta work the trade show. And I understand that in a lot of trade shows, people book appointments and you're seeing people who have existing appointments. As someone who didn't have appointments, and I was really there to be a sponge and to observe and to meet people, I was shocked. Not once during the 2 days when I was walking up and down the aisles, did a salesperson or a representative from a booth try to pull me in. I had to approach them. So this lack of being proactive and curiosity that we ask salespeople to have was completely lacking in like, oh, hey, I see you. Come on into the booth, like genuinely trying to get to know who I was, why I was there, what was my why for HITEC, how they could help was missing. So that would be, we got to do better, people. teams, we got to do better.
We're in hospitality for crying out loud, right? And some people aren't that, apparently that not hospitable.
Hospitable. Or they'd partied too hard the night before and they were just trying to stay upright, which I did hear a lot of those stories as well. So I would say that's a massive area of opportunity for teams, and left me thinking, all right, what did teams miss here? What clues are they not picking up on? Typically, we have to put ourselves in this place of stepping outside of our comfort zone. So if you're going to send people to a trade show and you're going to invest a lot of money, it doesn't always have to be a salesperson. I think I've posted about this a year ago. Finding people on your team that have a personality that can bring people into your booth to start conversations, because you're probably not going to sell something day of.
Right.
Bringing people into your ecosystem, into that conversation where you can introduce them to somebody in your booth and have a genuine conversation. It could be someone from your operations team or your CS team. It may not always be one of your sales reps or your most junior sales reps that a lot of teams often send to trade shows.
Really good point. I do have one more thing, a low light. I know she is going to hit on this really quick, is the amount of pre-post. You want to explain a little bit more about that?
Signing up for HITEC, I wasn't sure what the amount of pre-work was going to be done by over 300 vendors. And I'm sad to say, folks, we have a lot of work to do. In this digital age where AI is taking over and we are losing our human, it is important for your teams to take a human approach. I can count on one hand one person who connected with me, basically me prompting them to, connected with me on the DMs on LinkedIn. Yet I have received over 274 emails from HITEC, and it still goes. I was actually showing Cory earlier today my feed of all the HITEC emails must have gone out today. Not one of those salespeople messaged me on LinkedIn, looked at my profile, sent any human communication. I reached out to a couple of VPs to express how their team could have done something differently. The information that I got, no personalization. The only personalized email I got about HITEC was actually from this guy right here. And it was funny because the email subject line was awesome and it caught my attention. It stopped the scroll, but we have to do things differently. So my advice to teams as you move forward, especially for sales leadership, is what is your team doing? If you are also on the receiving end, which one VP told me, don't do as I do, is what he tells his team. He asked the team to send all of those emails. And when I showed him that he was sending me those emails, he said, I know it's cringy. Then don't do it, right? Don't lose your human. So all those automated messages, I am not a hotel. I am not in procurement. I am not buying Salesforce. I'm not buying your system, F&B. Micros. Everybody who keeps contacting me, like, I'm not it. And a little bit of research would have gone a long way for sales reps, and you would have been able to differentiate yourself. So as you move forward, that is my advice to any trade show you want to attend. The pre-work. Yes, setting those appointments is key, and having FaceTime with buyers and potential companies you want to get into. But the human element is missing.
Absolutely.
Reaching out to people, saying that they're coming to HITEC, you look forward to meeting them. If you don't meet them, how can you help support them? What are they trying to accomplish at HITEC? Putting it back on them versus making it about you would be awesome for pre-work. And then that post-show follow-up, stop with the automated emails. Like I said today, I think I've gotten 12. So it must have been the day we send out the weekly automated email post-HITEC. It is just going to junk. People aren't tuning into that. All of your products and your newsletters, there has to be a compelling reason, a problem-product correlation, or sending a unique follow-up. I will give it to Salesforce. They have left me a voicemail post-show. So there is at least that multi-thread.
Hey, absolutely. So I will throw in one more. I did a video on this a couple weeks ago about post, and my recommendation was don't let all that money and time go to waste before you even get to the airport. They've forgotten you, right? Just make a mental note or jot down all the conversations you had on the floor. Basically, I guess there wasn't a whole lot, so maybe there was a lot. But once you get back, and instead of sending the spam, is literally go to LinkedIn, make sure you're connected with them, but drop them a quick audio note. Hey, I really enjoyed our conversation. Your voice is, they're going to remember from your voice the conversation you had. It's going to help that recall. Make it warm, fun, maybe conversational. See if you want to, depending on how the conversation went, maybe you can take it further and say, hey, want to jump on a Zoom? Have martini over virtual martini. But it's the post. It's the event is one thing, but we'll see everybody go dark. The next show, maybe?
Yeah. I don't know what happens, but we have to get out of this like robotic sales culture that we're in, like bringing the human back. Maybe we can come up with an acronym that's about, like bringing the human back in. If only sales had a U in it.
Do we need Justin Timberlake for that? Actually, we're on the InnSync Show. This is perfect.
Yes, it is. Bringing that human element back, that goes a long way, but also giving. So if someone dropped a little nugget at HITEC, follow up with them. Hey, you said that you were going to such and such booth. Were you able to connect with that person there? How did that conversation go?
Totally.
I'm not talking about my product. I have a genuine interest in what they were doing, their outcome. That goes a long way versus what I keep getting, which is about my product. And actually, a fun instance was Friday of this past week. I got a request from someone at HITEC, and it talked about, it must have been a copy and paste message. They didn't look at my profile about me coming to HITEC. So I think it was messages that they probably sent prior to HITEC and we're just going through the list. So I got it. I did message the person back like, hey, not sure, but HITEC happened a couple of weeks ago. And I am not a hotel.
Strike two.
He did respond back today, so I will be interested
Oh,
to
wow.
see if he like ate some of his words or had a little bit of an embarrassing moment. I can jest about it and I get it. One wrong move with someone, it can totally blow that opportunity for your salespeople.
Great point. And on that note, wanted to thank Celeste for some great drops there, and it's so nice to meet you in person again.
Thank you. And I will say I have a master's in event and meeting management. So when people are like, who is this person talking about HITEC? Like my background was in trade shows and events, if I need to share my credibility, but happy to share my thoughts. I've been both on the operational, putting trade shows on, as well as in the seller seat. We have work to do.
Where can people find you, by the way?
Oh, you can find me on LinkedIn, Celeste Berke Knisley. I also have a podcast called The Sales Edge. I put out a newsletter and more tidbits coming soon, but always helpful. This guy over here supporting me, and I'm happy to do the same. And today, I'm about to give him a referral of a name of someone I met today. So this is the power of LinkedIn.
Absolutely. Love it. Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome.
Fist bump in here in San Diego.
That's, no way. And then we do shaka.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
did I have to do the, like, for the photo?
actually, that's pretty funny. But did you know that this is actually in the emoji is call me, not shakara, and I've been using it like this.
Hang loose.
Yeah,
Is that
that's what it is. Shaka bra. So, thanks guys.